jump.
Yeah.
Right into something.
I know. I mean, why say 92.7 WMDX every
I
morning?
think most people
Everybody
know.
knows. They have it tuned to the radio.
Yeah, it's on their radio.
Yeah, it's not
says that.
something that we have to keep reminding
Why do we
everybody.
have to say anything? I don't know. A few flurries overnight, I guess.
The grumbler. Yeah, we're just
grumble. Yeah. Yeah, it's cold out there.
It really is.
Yeah.
You get hit in the face with that breeze out there. Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Now that's a feels like temperature right there. That's a wind chill.
Feels cold. 15 degrees. That's cold.
Yeah.
It's clear, but you see all those little light flurries? I didn't notice any
I
snow
didn't see
last
any
night,
of that.
but
No, I didn't see that.
there's some on
Maybe
State
just
Street
downtown here in the lake effect.
yeah, the lake effect. Where are the leaf blower guys now? We never see them anymore. I thought they were going to do some snow duty, when it's like this, when it's just flurries.
Yeah, when they could just blow the snow around.
They had the big brushes out,
Yeah,
where they ride them and then they brush the snow, even though there's less than a quarter inch of snow out here. There's
even
nothing. Yeah.
They need the practice.
It must be fun to do that. I think that's a fun
Think
job.
so?
Yeah.
I mean, how deep is the snow before they can't use those machines?
I don't know. It's a great question. Get the street department in here. We'll get some answers.
Wow. That'll be a good show.
How warm will it get today, or how cold will it get? What do you think? We haven't gotten the balls out all year. The year just got underway. We haven't had a chance to.
Well, it's always nice to keep the balls nice and warm.
Let's get them out.
Yeah.
I say, there we go. Here comes the first ball. Coming right up the chute. Yep, it's a 2. That's a promising start. And the second ball's a 0. 20.
That's
Not so great.
That
20
didn't work
degrees
out.
for high. That's the high
Yeah.
today. 20. That's all we got.
According to my weather bug app on my phone, feels like 1 degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. Breezy out there. So just, dress in layers, cover up, and wear a scarf.
Bring an umbrella.
Yeah, sure. Bring an umbrella.
Check your windshield wipers.
Windshield wipers. Yeah.
Gotta do
Check
that.
the windshield wipers.
Make sure you got a scraper.
Well, make sure the windshield wipers aren't frozen to the windshield before you turn the motor on. I burned the motor out once.
Did you really?
Yeah. But, and that's in the old days, right? Now they don't let that happen to the motor.
The windshield wiper motor.
Motors, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
so,
let's get to the next item on the agenda here.
You seem real relaxed here, Gordy.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like Friday. And yet it is.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a
it's that
weird
Wednesday.
They shouldn't allow holidays to be in the middle of the week. That should be. There ought to be a law.
Well,
are you saying we should have waited to start 2025 until tomorrow?
Sure.
well,
be a weekend.
If that happens under a Democratic president, they would blame him for moving it around next to some religious holiday.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're trying to steal the thunder from. Oh, man.
Let's get to the National Day calendar.
Can we do that?
It's January 3rd, okay?
All right.
Not a whole lot on the National Day calendar.
No,
it's
not
pretty
a
slim
lot.
pickings.
Yeah, slim pickings.
Is it or is it not? National Drinking Straw Day. Is it National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day? Or is it National State Parks Day? Which day is not?
It's not State Parks Day. Why would it be State Parks Day in the winter? Unless you're a cross-country skier.
You are, that's very logical.
Thank you.
And you are correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm picking up some dough here this year.
Yeah.
I have 20 cents now saved up.
2 shiny dimes. Yep. It is National Drinking Straw Day, however.
Yes, yes.
Why would we need a day for drinking straws?
To get high?
What?
To just, drink quickly, fast.
It was on this date in 1988 that Marvin C. Stone received the patent for the paper drinking straw.
Wow, that's cool. And paper it's biodegradable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since then, a variety of drinking straws are used. It's believed the Sumerians, I don't know who the Sumerians
They were
are.
an ancient civilization, like thousands of years
Is
ago.
that right?
Yeah.
Oh, how quickly you forget.
They had straws, didn't they?
Well, it's believed that they used the very first drinking straw, Sam, for drinking beer, of all things. Archaeologists
Imagine
speculate that
drinking beer with a straw.
Isn't that great?
Ugh.
No, that's how you get high really fast.
Really? Okay.
They made the straws much better nowadays because of they bend, right?
You like bendy straws?
The bendy straws.
I like the fun straws that make like words and shapes. Like you can. There's one in like the shape of glasses, so you can put them on your face, and then it like goes into your mouth, and then when you drink it, you see it like come up the tube, go around your eyes. And
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the hats with the straws,
Yeah,
and the beer cans
all
on
that. Yeah. The oldest drinking straw known to be in existence was found in a Sumerian tomb dated 3000 BC.
Well, now it'll be easy to find those.
Okay.
Someday, 3 centuries from now, plastic
Plastic straws.
big ball of plastic straws.
There are also metal straws.
Well, they have the metal straws. They have the bendy straws. Mostly people are buying the bendy straws because it helps them for, I think it's called essential shake. Where people's hands shake.
if they can't hold a glass steady.
Yeah, they can't hold a glass steady.
Okay.
A lot of people have that. It's just part of aging. Some have a more severe case of it. And then, of course, there are other diseases that make you shake like that. So, yeah, the bendy straws, you can do whatever you want with them, and they're pretty nice.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
Big thumbs up from you.
Yeah. No one uses the regular straws anymore. Big thumbs up from me. All right. Well,
all right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Just going on here. Oh, my God. I might use a straw for my coffee this morning.
Okay. Why don't you try that out? Let us know.
All right.
It's national.
I'll give you a report.
Just sit in the corner and play with your bendy straw.
Wow.
Okay. It's National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day. Oh, my God. It's a favorite during the holidays, chocolate covered cherries. I'm not really a big fan of chocolate.
No, chocolate and cherries, perfect together, but they have to be dark chocolate covered.
Well, chocolate covered cherry lovers know how impossible it is to eat just one of these candies.
It's impossible.
You got to have more than one. Candy makers combine these two favorite flavors into one delicious treat and turn it into something irresistible.
I think Lay's
blah.
took the slogan away from cherries.
Okay.
Can't eat just one of them. Remember that?
Jay's potato chips?
Was it Jay's or Lay's? I can't remember.
Oh, I think it was Jay's.
Jay's
well,
potato.
maybe it was
Can't
Lay's.
eat
I don't
just
know.
one.
Yeah.
That's a great slogan.
Yeah.
You really can't eat just one of anything if it's a snack.
Yeah. Okay, chocolate covered cherry. Let's get to the history book. Let's move along. I feel like we're
Are they
stuck
real
in the mud
cherries
here.
or are they just filling?
They're real cherries.
Okay, all right.
They go back
Cherry
to the 1700s,
fillings.
but
All right.
let's move on to some history.
I want to know more.
Open up
Are
the
you sure?
book.
All right, let's open her up.
All right, open it up.
Oh,
All right, I'm just in another room
cough,
where
cough.
I'm not affected by this.
okay. Yeah. You okay?
God, gonna get lung cancer if I keep doing this.
Oh no. All right.
What do we
There's
got?
something called
What do you-
overacting, and
What are you talking about? I'm 100% genuine, Sean.
Oh, yes. that's right.
Okay.
Today in 1868,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Meiji Restoration begins. Are you familiar with that?
Not at all.
So for hundreds of years in Japan, they were run by kind of like it was a feudal system, like society was organized around. So there was like a bunch of, think of feudal Europe, like medieval Europe.
Right,
It was
right.
a lot like that in Japan.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
in 1868, after the United States came knocking at their door to start trading with them, it caused like a whole big societal change, and it was known as the Meiji Restoration
Oh,
period.
that's cool.
Meiji.
All right.
Yeah, it's modern Japan,
Western
basically.
Western
Yes.
civilization.
Westernization.
Gotcha.
Today in 1925, Mussolini declared himself dictator of Italy.
That must have been a fun
Well,
day
isn't
for
that
everybody.
fun? Now we can celebrate this month
Yeah.
when we put our dictator in place.
Yeah, it'll be the first one.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it, right?
Okay.
Today, John, here's one for you. Today in 1957, the very first electric watch was released.
Yes, you had to have a really long extension cord for that.
Yeah.
Carry a backpack with a battery in it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the electric watch. I mean, everybody has a battery-operated watch, right? I mean, if you're part of the 20th century
I've
or
got-
in the 21st
Yeah.
century.
I've
now.
got a solar watch, actually.
You do have a solar watch.
Yeah, it's really cool. Never need to change a battery.
No kidding.
It looks stupid when you raise your hand up to the sun all the time, though. It's just,
Yeah, it's actually a sundial on my wrist.
It's very ornate.
Yeah,
It's nice.
we got some more tech history today. In 1977, Apple Computer was incorporated.
Okay.
They'd been formed a little bit before this in Steve Jobs' parents' garage, and then they officially became a company on this day.
all right.
And then in 2009, on this day, the very first Bitcoin was mined. You ever played around with Bitcoin,
No.
cryptocurrency? No,
No. Have you?
no. I think it's a joke, kind of.
It seems to be catching on.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah,
Right.
it seems like a
I don't understand it at
like a
all.
scam investment to me. Like you can make money off of it
It
for
says
sure.
here
but-
Bitcoin mined. Are there mines?
Yes, you
Out
yeah,
west.
you
somewhere.
mine it. I can explain it, but it's some weird tech stuff.
all right.
Really?
But-
You
Right.
mine it.
Yeah.
See, I don't get it.
You use a computer to do computer mining, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. All right. We're coming back with birthdays for this date, January 3rd, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
.7 WNBX, John and Gordy in the morning. It just came to me about Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, I don't
Just came to
understand.
me.
Sam was trying to explain it to us
You
over
had
the
divine
break.
inspiration, John.
Well, it occurred to me a little while back, maybe a couple of years ago, there was this dramatic shortage of GPUs,
Yes.
graphics cards.
Yes.
And suddenly the market was just filled with graphics cards. And there was a big warning out there about these graphics cards being used for Bitcoin mining. And the thing is that they ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for
Yes.
years
Yes.
to mine these coins. So you didn't want to buy a graphics card that they beat to death and now are reselling on the market. And that happened a couple of years ago or so. Because my sons, are always looking for a graphics card because they're very expensive, or there's not enough of them out there, or they're charging too much when it's NVIDIA. So anyway, they told me that story, and it's a real thing. They had all these Asian, European countries that use Bitcoin mining, and they tried to flood the market with the old graphics cards. So you didn't want to get something that's practically burned out already.
Yeah, that's right. We're speaking.
I have
we're
no
speaking
idea
Greek
what
to
you're
you,
talking
Gordy.
about. So a graphics card is a real thing.
Well, yeah,
It's a part of a
it's-
computer.
Physical thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
because in
And-
your computer,
And they wear out.
Computer parts can wear out.
Okay.
You can't tell that they're really worn out until they've failed, though, is the problem.
the thing is,
But-
some of the CPUs,
Okay.
part of your computer,
CPU.
CPU. There's Intel.
Okay.
Well,
chips.
anyway, yeah,
The
the
chips.
chips.
Okay.
They have
Like
their own.
Lay's.
They have their own graphics card in them.
Okay.
But they're not very powerful. They're just, they get you by.
And what does this have
Guess
to
you
do with
don't have it.
Bitcoin?
Well, as you go out mining for this stuff, you need something powerful that can handle all of the information.
Do I need a mining hat with a flashlight on it?
Yeah,
And
you
a
need
pick.
you need a canary and a pickaxe.
There you go.
Canary in a coal mine? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Wait till after the show. You can explain it to me.
No, I'm not going
Diagram
to
it out.
explain it anymore. I'm done. I'm walking out.
I don't get it, but
Oh,
that's okay. All right,
okay.
let's get to the birthdays. For
You really want to hear the birthdays, don't you?
well,
It's,
what
Jay-
else do you want
We have
to
two
do?
really good ones
We
today.
do. We do have two good ones. J.R.R. Tolkien's birthday. He was born in 1892 on this
Is it
day.
Tolkien or Tolkien?
I think it's just Tolkien.
I don't know if I've actually heard it spoken, so you're
All right.
probably right.
J.R.R. Tolkien, yeah. And great movies.
Author of what was
The
it?
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Hobbit,
Yeah.
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 Hobbit. Yeah.
And that was a great movie series.
Mhm.
Now, my wife isn't so much into the Hobbit series. She didn't care too much about how they expanded the story. They used stories from other Tolkien stories.
Are you a fan of the 1970s version?
Oh, you mean the
film?
animated
Yeah,
version of
yeah.
it? Actually, I kind of did like it. There was one Bakshi version that was dark and
I haven't
evil.
actually watched it. I just wanted to get your take.
And then there, and then the other one had the characters with big eyes. And,
Yeah.
and a friend of mine could not. He didn't want to go out to see Lord of the Rings, the real version, the end of the live action one, because of the big eyes. And I said, no, these are just human beings. They didn't make their eyes bigger. These are actors.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to go see them. They have the
Oh,
big eyes on the
scary.
hobbits. I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
All
also
right.
Sergio Leone's birthday. He was born in 1929, known for he's a movie director known for
Spaghetti
spaghetti
westerns.
westerns.
Yeah.
back
Right.
in the
Yeah, he
60s,
made a lot of them.
Absolutely. I have so many ideas for this program, and one of the ideas was to use all of the music from the spaghetti westerns as in and outros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that would be kind of fun to do.
Yeah, well, let's do that one
You
day.
think so?
Yeah.
It's been on the back burner since we started.
Isn't that how Clint Eastwood got his start?
Yeah.
Making
No. Well,
spaghetti
he was
westerns?
he was on TV.
He was on TV.
Oh, he
in
was on
westerns,
Rawhide.
but he,
Yeah.
he got
No, not-
big
was it
in the
Rawhide?
movies.
I might
I'm
have
sure it was Rawhide.
So yeah, he was on there, and then the spaghetti westerns. They rocketed off on that one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his first movie after that, The Long Rider, I think it was, or was it that?
I don't know.
It was a kind of a takeoff on that, but his version of how he would have done a western. He wasn't a big fan of Sergio Leone, so
Interesting. Okay.
all right, there we go.
That's it?
That's all we got.
Well,
Well, let's go back to Bitcoin. I know.
On this day as if you
Why are you so curious about Bitcoin?
Well, I'm still
Are you gonna,
baffled
are you
by
gonna start
how this is
investing
a
in it?
thing.
Well,
Who's making money off of this? I mean, who invented the idea of Bitcoin?
nobody really knows who invented it. They've traced it to like an anonymous person online,
Okay.
and I don't know. Nobody thought that it would work at first, and it didn't work for like 5 or 10 years of its existence. Like I said, it came to be in 2009 on this day.
Well, the drug cartels found a way to use it.
Right. That's the part that I don't understand about it, the actual transaction part, because there's a certain level of untraceability to
Right.
every transaction that you do, which is why like illegal cartels like it.
It's probably why
But
Trump likes it and wants to go to that currency.
the level
that right?
the level that I understand, I call it a scam investment because it's so fluid. It goes up and down like crazy. That's why Tesla does and then doesn't accept it as payment for its cars, stuff like that. But you can go to like a Bitcoin ATM, put $1 in, and like trade your money in for Bitcoin if you wanted to, and then whenever the value goes up, you trade it back out for U.S. dollars.
What do you get if you go to an ATM and it gives you some
You
Bitcoin?
get a
piece
number
of paper
on a
or
screen.
You
get
get
a
a
number on a screen.
And what do you write it down? I mean, does it spit out a little piece of paper or what?
I don't know.
It's got a big claw.
There's
You lower the claw.
Lower the
into
claw.
the cage.
This is the machine. Oh, I've seen those.
they've got a Bitcoin ATM right down the street. Why don't we go over there after the show?
Okay, buy us some Bitcoin.
Great idea.
Can't wait.
We'll be wealthy. We have a whole series of numbers.
Great, wonderful. Can't wait.
Oh, God.
All
Well,
right.
I can't wait till our whole system of government goes to Bitcoin.
What will happen to the dollar then? What is it all going to just go away?
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
Boy, okay.
Well, it'll be done anyway under Trump.
You think so?
So
All right.
Everybody will go to different currencies and they'll leave the U.S. dollar alone.
Oh, look out. Okay. Coming up, we've got Idiocracy right around the corner on John and Gordy in the morning. Stay tuned.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point. Intelligence continued to decline until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
You calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Most of the time, actually. We go over all of that right here.
We sure do. And this portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Find them on Madison's east side or west side or online at verlo.com.
All right, well, an endless stream of idiocracy here.
Yep.
Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, boy.
All right. She's got an old idea that she wants to take care of, finally, once and for all. This administration, they're going to defund NPR. Okay.
Oh, not
wow.
this again. Really?
This is really important stuff here.
Trying to do
I know. So, do you have that queued up? Okay, let's listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene attack NPR.
It's all over. Every single government department, program, grant programs, contracts, it is everywhere. And so when we look into a deep dive into this massive problem that's caused America to be $36 trillion in debt, we're going to have to go into all kinds of buckets. And that's how I'll be separating things on the Oversight Subcommittee on DOGE. We'll be looking at everything from government-funded media programs like NPR that spread nothing but Democrat propaganda. We'll be going into grant programs that fund things like sex apps in Malaysia, toilets in Africa, all kinds of programs that don't help the American people. I want to talk to the people at the Pentagon and ask them why they can't find billions of dollars every single year and why they fail their audit. But not just that.
Oh, yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So, here it is.
NPR.
Democratic propaganda. So let's eliminate that one other party. So we just have kind of a one-party system throughout the entire country. That always makes sense.
That seems what they want to do. Yeah.
So get rid of woke Democratic propaganda because the mega propaganda is the one that helps people. All right, that's the message I got from that. But also, and this is an interesting perspective from a Gen Zer, my son. I told him about this. Yeah, they want to take away, public radio.
Right.
And he goes, well, who listens to AM radio anyway? He said, who cares?
Plenty of people listen to NPR on FM.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. They moved a lot of that stuff to FM.
They did. Yes.
Just, segments, of course. But anyway.
My takeaway from MTG here is that, wow, I mean, public radio must be pretty expensive to produce if it costs $36 trillion over the course of however many years it's been in existence.
Right.
That's
not really
a phantom number.
And federal funding, I think, is a small part of the funding that NPR gets anyway.
Right.
But it can hurt. And then we'll have more of those fund drives that everybody can't stand.
Yeah, they do a lot of those.
Yeah.
Just to
Hey, John,
keep the lights on.
If you give money to them during their funding drives, then you get cool merch.
You do?
That's
Yeah,
right.
my mom does that, and then she doesn't want the merch, so she gives it to me.
Really?
I've got a WPR tote bag.
A tote bag.
WPR socks.
Nothing
It's
like
great.
a tote bag. Yeah.
Wow. Why aren't we doing that?
We should do that.
We should have a drive.
Well, we've got the John and Gordy balls, the stress balls. We could have a fundraising drive.
No
for
one's
those.
asking for.
Can't believe it.
I know. We worked so hard.
Yes, we did.
Our focus groups were so attuned to those balls.
Seemed like it was a good idea at the time.
Of course, I told you we shouldn't have served drinks with that focus group.
Seemed to skew the results a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, I thought there would be a problem with that. I was right.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's go to the unelected bureaucrat, Elon.
No. Oh, Elon.
Yeah,
What's he up to today?
Oh, he's creating government policy with conflicts of interest, of course. Laura Loomer sounded the alarm on this. Laura Loomer.
Yeah,
the
thank
racist.
goodness.
Oh, she's a racist. Oh, yeah. Yep. Mega voters unfamiliar with the term oligarchy. won't notice that the billionaire class is now directly putting themselves in charge of everything. I heard a guy say, instead of oligarchy, let's just say billionaires from now on, right?
Right.
Dems
what's
can,
the difference?
yeah, I know. It's the same thing. Dems can talk to the media till they're blue in the face, as we have here on this program, but they will never, ever, they won't ever convince Omega of anything. We present facts, figures, we give them quotes. That's why we have all of these voicers on the show. Just we don't want to say it for them. We want you to hear what they're actually saying, So anyway, Steve Bannon is out there shouting out, ripping the administration, the new upcoming administration. And Laura Loomer is also out there, and she has some words of wisdom, some great points to make. So let's listen to her.
And what we need to have a conversation about is what is it going to mean for the future of our country, our national security, and the incoming Trump administration if we have a bunch of technocrats who are also essentially welfare queens because their companies are receiving government subsidies and they want to take over our defense industry. If you have a bunch of tech bros with billions of dollars and direct unfettered access to the vice president and the president of the United States, and then they are also, very cordial with our adversaries, as in China and Iran. We see that Elon Musk is having these meetings off the books with Iranian officials, with Chinese officials. What does that mean for us and the future of our constitutional republic?
No, it's a good question.
Okay, well, she kind of
doesn't mean a lot
there.
to us. Yeah, right. I know. Finally, right? She also suggested that some in Trump's circle, they don't want to cross Elon Musk. They don't want to cross him.
They're scared.
Get in his way.
Yeah.
And here's a quote from Loomer. It sounds like people are scared of crossing the king of the world, Elon Musk, the monarch. Nobody wants to cross this guy. This is the problem when you allow for a billionaire to make $200 million in a donation and then give it to the campaign and get somebody elected, also on X as well. And so maybe we really do need to have a campaign finance regulation in this country.
Maybe.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Again,
wow.
let me just repeat the line. And so maybe we really do need to have campaign finance regulations in this country. Well, thank you, Laura, for that thought of wisdom.
Yes.
My goodness,
Very
we've been
insightful.
trying to do something about that for the last 20 years.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, talk to the Supreme Court about that, Laura. I think you have some pull now in the mega court.
Yeah. They're not going to change it now, though. The money is
Citizens
there.
United. That's all over. Everything is.
They're all making money.
Done.
Yeah.
Now
Citizens
this is really big.
Okay.
Now we know that Jimmy Carter, nice guy, hardly has a negative word to say about anybody, right? I mean, he soft sells it. So I'm not a big fan of his, but I don't usually criticize previous presidents, and I don't do that kind of stuff. That's nice. That's real nice.
So that's what. That's what he was all about. Yes,
that's what he's all about. But instead, I have a cut of Jimmy Carter laying it out on the line here.
Really?
Oh yeah. Let's hear him.
Russia has been proven by our intelligence community to have interfered with one of our human rights, which is the right of free and fair elections. What's your reaction? How should we deal with Russia?
Well, the president himself should condemn it, admit that it happened, which I think 16 of the intelligence agencies have already agreed to say. And there's no doubt that the Russians did interfere in the election. And I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered on his behalf.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract, I would say yes.
Okay.
So apparently
that was so he made those comments in 2019.
Yeah.
About the 2016 election. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
huh?
right out there.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that it actually came right out and said it in a very subtle way. Right? All right, now we haven't really talked about Pete Hegseth for a hell of a long time.
Yeah,
Thank God, right?
Yeah, like
Kind
a week or
yeah.
so.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's been out of the news for a long time.
Well,
here.
they took a holiday break.
Well, aren't they trying to approve these people before they take over? Well, all right.
I don't know.
Who knows, right?
Yeah, what's going on? With him?
Well, the amazingly successful anti-fascist protesters were able to frame the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and 44 other anti-government groups on January 6th. Did you know that?
No.
I mean, these anti-fascists, this Antifa, they knew just what to do, right? And they framed all these individuals. Now they're, January 6th heroes, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers. They're all spending time in prison.
But
and that's
Trump's going to let them out, though, right?
Well, not a lot of people are big fans of that.
No.
CNN uncovered audio of Hegseth spreading. Now, this is the guy, the Defense Department. He's going to head it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Trump wants to bring our military into this country and start enforcing the laws. And Hegseth would be a part of that, right? So you got to think this is a bad idea. Hegseth is spreading baseless conspiracy theories claiming that the initial break-in on January 6th was a false flag operation carried out by Antifa. And in his own words, let's listen to this.
There are reports, in the New York Post and elsewhere, and just from, common sense, that Antifa folks took advantage of this to try to get to the front and try to agitate and create openings for themselves. They want chaos, ultimately. I could even spot it. You can see the helmets where there's a, Donald Trump bumper sticker on the back, quickly put on it so they could look like they wanted to stop the steal. But what they really wanted to do was further the narrative.
How in the hell can anybody think like that? I miss those helmets. And I missed the sticker. I do want the sticker.
Did you really?
Oh, man.
Didn't he watch any of the news coverage that day? I mean,
maybe he missed the actual...
the lead up to it?
Yes.
Speech?
I don't know. The
Like
actual
Trump?
break-in looked pretty dramatic.
Looked pretty real.
Yeah. Well, Antifa was, again, very successful at framing all of these innocent bystanders.
Yeah, they were just,
The Proud Boys, you got to feel a little bit sorry for them, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
I wonder what Antifa would have wanted to do with Nancy Pelosi's laptop or the podium that the one guy was carrying out of the Capitol.
I know. You just can't figure it out. But Antifa knows what they're doing. It worked. Whatever it was, it worked.
Trust them. They've got a plan, John.
And let's go to our favorite former governor, Scott Walker. Scott Walker, former bad governor, and now president of Young America's Foundation, YAF, found on more than 2,000 campuses. He's helping students promote conservatism, right? So he posted this on X. College is un-American, literally. That's what he said. That's what he posted.
Walker said that.
College is un-American, literally, and he heads up a group that's on over 2,000 campuses.
Is he just jealous because he didn't go to college?
The thing, how does he keep his job as president of YAF? I'd bounce this guy out. You're talking down to our college campuses, my friend.
Yes. Really?
Yeah.
How does he get away with that?
I don't know how he gets away with this, but to say that college is un-American, literally, shows you just how much he respected our own university system in the state when he was governor. They defunded it dramatically, and they're continuing to do that as well. So that's Scott Walker, our former governor.
Hey, we got a text in here, John, from Matt. We were talking about NPR and how Republicans, and especially Marjorie Taylor Greene, wants to get rid of funding for NPR.
Right.
Matt says they want to be rid of NPR because it's educational and those cat ladies like it.
They must really hate
Baseball.
classical music, too. That's why they want to get rid of it. They hate classical music.
Yeah, that must be it.
That's right. God.
Good Lord. Okay.
All right.
It is coming
That's
up.
idiocracy, man.
Oh, boy. It just goes on and on. 6:49, coming back with more on John and Gordy in the morning. Oh, sure.
I recommend big things up to that movie, by the way. If you have a
Winter
chance
and Go-Go?
to check it out. Yes, because it's so surreal. Those movies are weird, but they're weird in a good way,
Very
a
strange.
positive way. They're not un-American. These are truly American movies. Scott Walker, whose son, by the way, was married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was on Facebook, and I noticed.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Good.
One of his sons.
Yeah. It's cold out there this morning, John. 15 degrees.
All right.
And feeling even colder than that with a little bit of a breeze. High today, just 20. Yep.
All right. I want to get to
got some texts in.
A text from yesterday, and this is from Frank out there in Poynette. He says, I believe Carter, and we were just talking about Jimmy Carter, lowered himself into a nuclear center. We have that story, right? You've got it in front of you.
Yes, I don't have like deep details, but I've got the overview of the story here.
Well, lay it on us.
So
Check this
in
out.
1952, when Jimmy Carter was in the Navy, there was in Canada, there was a partial meltdown at a reactor there, December 1952. And they called him in and a bunch of other people from the U.S. Navy to help with cleanup efforts. And they literally, like, there was a bunch of radioactive water in the basement of this nuclear power plant that they had to, like, clean up and pipe out. And they set up like a mock model of this basement of the power plant on a bunch of tennis courts, and he would like go through this model and like train himself how to like open the right pipes to pump the water out, and then he'd put on a radiation suit. Jimmy Carter went down into the basement of this place and turned a bunch of bolts for 5 minutes, came out, like waited a day for radiation effects to wear off, went in, and then did it again. And he did this for a little while until all of the cleanup was done.
Crazy.
I never heard of
And it was a number of individuals. I think they were lowered into this.
Probably, yeah. I'm assuming that nothing was like
And then
powered
they had
and working there.
They had to take them out again.
Right.
Yeah.
He said in private, after 3 Mile Island happened, he said that 3 Mile Island wasn't as big of a deal as people were making it out to be because he had gone through this. But he also said that when he was doing this cleanup in 1952, that he received probably 1,000-ish times the 1970s legal limit of radiation.
That's right.
They wouldn't have allowed that to happen anymore.
Wow.
But props to Jimmy Carter for
maybe
doing
it made
that.
him immune to something. You know, he lived to 100 years old,
I
so
know,
maybe it
it's
was a good thing.
crazy.
He got
Maybe we should all get
some radiation
fried by
treatment.
radiation.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
I know. It's just an amazing
Never
story.
heard that story.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You'd think he'd be telling it all the time, right?
Yes.
A lot of these older guys, they tell the same story over and over and over again.
I've noticed that.
But with variations, that's us.
No, we don't do that.
Jimmy Carter seemed like he was a pretty humble guy. Didn't want to brag about doing something like this.
That's right. Yeah, they gave him a not a very good prognosis for exposing himself to those levels of radiation.
Yeah.
And apparently it didn't have any effect at all.
No.
So there you go. So much
Now
for
we know
science.
the rest of the story. That's good. Well, thanks to Frank from Poynette.
Yeah.
You wanted us to point out he's from Poynette. You mentioned that several times.
Well, we don't have enough
text.
We don't have enough people out there in Poynette listening to the show, and we appreciate Frank.
You ever been to Poynette? It's a very nice little town.
Yeah, it is actually, it's a really cute town.
It is. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I might retire there.
When do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. Point is, you don't want to retire. You just want to keep active.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
wanna
hard to,
do
it's
nothing,
hard to
sit around,
retire
do
nowadays,
nothing.
isn't it?
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, what do you got there? Got another story for us, Uncle John?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Elon and Greg Abbott, they had a plan. Tesla laid off 2,688 Texas employees.
Oh, no.
And immediately following that, they hired 2,639 HB1 visa employees.
Huh.
That's right. It was a plan between Greg Abbott, the governor, and Elon. So that's how easy
This just
it is
happened?
to replace American labor, hardworking
2,000,
Americans.
more than 2,000.
That's right.
You would think that Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, would want Texans working jobs in Texas, but
That's what you
maybe
would
not
think.
so.
Well, Abbott begged Elon to go to Texas to take his company there because, he was fed up. Elon was fed up with California.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to have anything to do with it there.
That's right.
Even though he, of course, got all the tax credits that he could get from them.
Made millions.
Yeah.
Then he split.
Yeah. Well,
That's the way it goes.
That's what happens. You lay off all these people. Well, what happened to these employees, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't they speak
Did
up?
they
Why
get
didn't they
unemployment?
say something?
Yeah, exactly. Did they get big
'Cause
payoffs or something?
Why do we have to find out in a story like this?
Right.
So follow the money.
That's it.
And again, Laura Loomer said it, get money out of politics. Get it out.
She's seen the light.
A bright light.
Yeah.
Walk
Okay.
into the light.
Yeah.
Okay. How about disaster capitalism is back with Trump, of course. Watching Trump and his acolytes attempting to spin the New Orleans attack into a justification for bypassing the normal confirmation process for his national security team reminds me of this quote. Would-be autocrats often use economic crisis, natural disasters, and especially security threats, wars, armed insurgencies to justify anti-democratic measures.
We'll have to leave that there.
And that's a quote from Stephen Levitsky.
When the things are bad, people will use the bad things to get what they want.
That's it.
Yep.
Hey, coming up in a little while, Jimmy K is going to be in for Rökker with a Max Inc. preview. That's coming up on John and Gordy in the morning. What I said.
As we were saying, let the sunshine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
transmitted by wire.
Here is the latest news brought into your own living room.
You'll be hard to satisfy with anything less.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Talk is cheap. Gib. Always gossiping.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
This is Hi-Fi Plus.
And that's the way it is.
We'll do it live.
On 92.7 FM, WMDX. Take it away, boys.
All right.
And this portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. You can sleep better, you can dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Find them on Madison's east side or west side or online at verlo.com and ask about their lifetime guarantee on their mattresses.
Beautiful. Yeah.
All right. It's cold this morning, John.
It really is. It's a feel-like temperature of 18 below.
I think you're making that up.
I did. I just made that up, but it feels like that.
Okay.
To me.
To you. Okay. It's 15 degrees, actually, and the high today expected to be about 20.
Hey, we got the big story coming up here.
Yeah, big
but
story.
First, I see a headline.
Yeah.
We live or die. James Carville has a plan to force the GOP's implosion.
Okay.
We're waiting, James. Start the process, please.
Really?
God, what is going on? That guy, he just makes these huge statements. Never see anything from them, though. Why don't we get into the president-elect and his big lie? He wants to start off with a big lie immediately.
Day one.
And I mentioned disaster capitalism. You take advantage of a situation. Mm-hmm. And the situation, of course, is New Orleans and Las Vegas. And he shared anti-immigrant misinformation about a minute after New Orleans, right? I mean, and you know where he got this misinformation from? Fox News. He was watching Fox News. So he used what he heard on Fox News, came out with an official statement. This is the eventual president of the United States listening to Fox News, getting his news there, and then making things up after that, blaming the attack on immigration.
He watches it all the time, 24/7, apparently.
He does.
It's, happened in the middle of the night, right?
And then, of course, he insisted that everything he predicted and said he was right about. He was right about everything after wrongly, again, tying the New Orleans attack to immigration. It's driving me crazy. The coverage of this is just insane because the right wing, the MAGA, seem just determined to make it an immigration issue. You can't get them off of it. And I've also often said this about Democrats. If the Democrats just pick one or two things that they could just push for the next 20 years. You got to start now. But if you just push it, and every time you have an interview with whoever it is about whatever subject it is, always bring up the agenda you want, no matter what. Just bring it out of the clear blue and start talking about it.
Hammer away at it.
And that's what the megas do.
Yes.
Now, here's Trump lying at the most critical time after this attack, along with comments from House Speaker Mike Johnson. And I've got a cut here with all of these individuals saying something, and political megas, including, get this, Oklahoma State Superintendent Ryan Walters. We've talked about him with busted pencils. He wanted Bibles in the schools and being taught in the schools. And what he said was that the public school teachers are the ones responsible for domestic terrorism. So let's listen to this. This is a compilation of all these individuals again: Trump, Mike Johnson, and Ryan Walters. Let's listen.
Donald Trump put out a statement on social media earlier today that reads as follows. When I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Our hearts.
And you have to have a nice, decent person in office. It makes a big difference. I mean, look at the message he sent out on Truth Social about the tragedy that happened on New Year's in New Orleans. He's blaming immigrants. The guy guilty of it was not an illegal immigrant, but he's blaming them. He's a president-elect, straight up lying and spreading hate. The guy was a U.S. citizen. He was in our military. He was a real estate agent. He was from Texas, but Trump doesn't care. We have a president-elect who doesn't care about the fucking facts, straight up lying and spreading hate. Why are you doing this? You won the fucking election.
Things they tried to convince us that the greatest threat to the homeland was racially motivated extremism, when we all looked at the wide open border and thought logically that that might lead to terrorist attacks in the future. You know, we need a dramatic change, and we cannot get President Trump here soon enough.
You know, you were saying a few moments ago you can't take him literally. Why shouldn't you take the president of the United States literally? Isn't that sort of a baseline expectation that he should stick to the facts?
I think, look, in this particular instance, and I didn't see the exact language he used in the True Social post. I don't think he was saying that this individual crossed illegally, or if he was, it was based on initial reporting that was incorrect, that somebody had crossed
We can show it up
Eagle
on screen
Pass.
again. I mean, he's talking about the.
But he has a valid
he's blaming Biden's open borders policy.
And
he's
again,
talking about that on True Social. I mean,
but does he tie it directly
when I said that
to
the
this
criminals
particular
coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. Not in this case. What he is saying in that Truth Social post is false. That is false.
He's not saying that this individual crossed the border illegally, but there were 400 people on the terrorist watch list.
Of course, but when there's an act of terrorism in this country, the incoming president should tell the truth to the American people. Yeah. I mean, that is just, isn't that what the president should do at all times?
He's talking about securing the border, and he believes, and I think the data bears out that he won the election partially because
I mean, I just have to say, here he goes
border.
again. He talks about everybody else being fake news, and he's the one peddling fake news. But
we all know that for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has been completely derelict in its duty. The congressional Republicans, we here in the House and the Senate, have repeatedly asked the DHS under the Biden administration about the correlation, the obvious concern about terrorism and the wide open border.
And yet they're coming into this country free. They've been handled at the border. Now, Cheryl, if only 10% got through that we didn't know about of 55,000, that's 5,500 special terrorists, potential terrorists that are in this country. And Mayorkas and company, as you know, they said, we've got operational control of the border. He's been saying that forever.
You know, you have schools that are teaching kids to hate their country, that this country is evil. You have the teachers' unions pushing this on our kid. The radical left wants people to hate this country. They've completely destroyed the integrity of the FBI by making them more concerned about DEI than about protecting Americans. And look, this is a real uncomfortable truth. You know, I know the left is going to lose their mind. We cannot allow our schools to become terrorist training camps. That's why we are getting back to the basics here in Oklahoma, to make sure that our kids love this country, understand American values, understand the role that the Constitution, the Bible, the Declaration of Independence played in American history, because we want patriots. And that's got to be the focus of our schools.
Yeah, it sounds like propaganda to me, right-wing propaganda to me. He says teachers have turned classrooms into terrorist training camps.
Yeah, that's
the superintendent of public schools in Oklahoma. Good luck, folks. You know, you would think maybe colleges across the country would look skeptically at students coming out of Oklahoma.
Perhaps.
I would.
Sam, did you have something?
Well, I was going to say, because I'm doing grad school online to become a teacher. I didn't even know that I was training to become a terrorist.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
You better look at that curriculum.
Yeah.
Check it out. We have Dick on the line here. Our number is 608-879-8255. Dick, go ahead with your comment or question. Good morning.
Well, the last clown you were just playing, talking about the FBI is failing and everything. First of all, we all know where it'll go if you don't look at your daily briefs. And guess what? A guy that he appointed, Christopher Wray, before the Senate early this year, like back in May, I believe he said the number one thing going forward to be concerned about is domestic terrorism. But of course, he drove this man out of office already before he takes office. And I really do fear the fact that the guy will pay no attention to good information and something really bad could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They have discounted domestic terrorism completely only because they're right-wingers committing the domestic terrorism. So they want to divert attention away from that to the immigrants. That's what they're doing. So it's I agree with you 100% on that, Dick. All right.
Dick, thanks for that call.
Yeah. And this is a post from Stephen Miller, the Goebbels. impersonator. He posted this: Islamist terrorism is an import. It is not homegrown. It did not exist here before migration brought it here. I don't know if Stephen Miller's familiar with the internet, but
Maybe he's not.
It didn't have to be imported here in a boat.
He doesn't know about the tubes.
Yes, the series of tubes, or the dump truck where they put all that information. God, I wish I had that. Do we have that?
The internet is a series of tubes.
Oh man, I do love that. And then here's an update, but this was a new statement from Donald Trump.
Okay.
With the Biden open borders policy, I said many times during the rallies and elsewhere, that radical Islamic terrorism and other forms of violent crime will become so bad in America that it will become hard to even imagine or believe.
Okay.
That time has come, only worse than ever imagined. So that's his latest statement. He's sticking to the immigrant problem. And, immigrants are training our military now. These are two military people, by the way, in New Orleans and in Las Vegas.
Former military,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, one was former military. The other guy is currently military, serving in Germany at the time, but he was here on a pass, I guess, back home. And he decided to do that. By the way, his family is kind of surprised because this guy is hardcore military, hardcore Trump. But at the same time, they thought the explosives that he used on the Cybertruck,
right,
too minor.
Yes.
This guy would have definitely packed that thing with explosives.
Yeah, they said he was an expert. And so this was kind of amateurish.
Small-time stuff.
What he was doing
So
there.
they didn't think something was wrong with the story for them anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad enough. And let's see here. The law enforcement confirms Livelsberger, that's his name, was in active duty in Germany and on leave. His wife hadn't heard from him. And now a German source from his unit claims that Livelsberger was a Trump and Elon supporter. Not an extremist, but a steady believer. The plot thickens.
Boy.
We'll see what happens as time moves on.
Okay, 7:18. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will get into the Max Inc. preview for the weekend with Jimmy K. It's coming up right around the corner. John and Gordy. And talk about politics.
Morning.
Good morning.
Brittany Merlot.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yes, it
out
is.
there.
It's even colder up by you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a lot, but
Yep.
yeah.
I'm bundled
heading
up.
to Wausau tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Got a nice big sweater on.
Yes. The biggest one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you knit that yourself?
No,
In
I'm not that
crocheting
talented.
class?
My mom could do it, but not me.
No.
I always hated those knit things for winter.
Yeah. Why?
In the old days.
Why?
In the old days, they had
They're itchy.
they had bad yarn,
bad yarn.
Yeah, use
very itchy
acrylic yarn,
stuff.
not wool.
What's that?
Use acrylic yarn, not wool.
No,
They didn't have
no,
that.
even the acrylic was rough. It was itchy. It was just bad stuff. They have softened the material quite a bit now,
Oh, yeah.
15 seconds.
so it's more comfortable. And you look very comfortable, Brittany.
I'm so comfortable. This is so fuzzy and soft.
Uh,
The Wisconsin landscape is lit up by a million shining stars. I am traveling up the Edens to the land of the under 21 bars. I'm going to Cheeseland, Cheeseland, the Dells in Door County. I'm going to Cheeseland. Rednecks in trailers with families, and we are going to Cheeseland.
92.7 WMDX.
Cheeseland. Cold, cold, cold out there this morning. And to tell us just how cold it's going to be, we have Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist, with us this morning.
Hi,
Good morning,
Brittany.
Brittany.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that frozen tundra is going to be representing on Sunday. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
against the Bears.
Yes. Oh, we're going
Big
to totally crush them,
Noontime game, I believe. So yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. Looks like those temperatures are going to be highs of about 21 degrees, but with the winds at about 10 miles per hour, the highs will really be feeling more like 9. So feeling 0 to 9 degrees throughout that game from tailgating to the time you leave.
Now remember, the Packers have always done really well with really cold temperatures.
I love
Right?
that.
Isn't that crazy?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange because of course the cast has changed since the old days, but yeah, they always seem to do well in the cold weather.
There's something about Lambeau, I tell you. The energy there, the vibe there. It's wonderful.
The
Did you hear
ghosts, the spirits.
Aaron
The ghosts.
Rodgers is talking about retiring now.
Is
he really?
He's opening the door to that.
Well, he better.
Oh yeah, he's like, I don't know about next year.
Yeah.
I don't think
He's
so.
hedging his bets. He's always
really
getting fired.
Yeah, right.
Aaron
Anyway.
Rodgers. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. He's a real head case, isn't he? Are we embarrassed or not? I think we are.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, so today though, it's just going to stay cold all day, and
Yep.
pretty much for the weekend. And any light at the end of the tunnel next week?
Well, there's a lot of sunshine on the tunnel this weekend to help you battle the cold. But yes, we do have some 20s returning by Monday, but it's only temporary. We do drop back down again midweek next week. So a little bit of 2 cold snaps, I'd say, kind of back to back. But we are missing a major snow and ice storm down to the south.
Yes.
So that's good news as we sit here dry and pretty and a little bit cold. They're going to be dealing with some crazy weather down there.
Well, yeah, I think it has something to do with their politics. So,
well, there they go.
No,
then.
that's a huge storm that's going south of us.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It
They're looking
is.
at anywhere from 1 to 2 feet. I think the hardest hit area is probably going to be Nebraska and then northern Missouri. But ice all the way from Kentucky to Illinois to Indiana to it's slappy. It's a big one.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well,
we'll
it
just
seems
stay
awful
away.
cold out there. I mean, with this wind, are we going to get some kind of relief from this extreme wind that we have?
No, not till Sunday.
No.
It's going to stay breezy today and tomorrow and cold.
Okay.
So, layers, bundled up, stay inside, all that
All right.
jazz.
Well, thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Have a good
Brittany. You have a
weekend.
good
Okay,
weekend.
you
We'll
too.
talk to you Monday, right?
Thanks. Yep.
All right. Okay, that's Brittany Merlot, our civic media
Yeah.
meteorologist.
Love talking to her.
Mm-hmm. And this portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. You can go to the east side location or west side, or just check everything out at verlo.com.
She makes us feel so good about bad weather, doesn't she?
I know. That's
So,
what she does.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get to something that I think is really important. Again, this is the immigrants who are responsible for New Orleans and Las Vegas, okay? And there is an individual on Fox News in one of the talk shows that they have, Tarlov. I don't know what her first name is. Anyway, she is the one liberal that they
Oh, they always have one, right?
yes, they like to just criticize constantly
Right.
and object to no matter what she says. They're making sure that whatever she is saying is unheard.
Who would ever want that job?
Nobody.
Well, somebody's got to do it, and I a big congratulations for making that cast. But anyway, here let's listen to this. This is a little chaotic, but at the same time, you understand that she is saying the truth, and they're trying to cover it up with their dumbass comments. Let's listen to this.
Need to make sure that we have the right facts, and the right facts were that the guy in New Orleans was an American. He wasn't an illegal.
Nobody's saying he wasn't.
That's not true. That's not true. There have been Republicans who have been on TV today talking about how this is an open border.
I'll call them myself.
You call them. That it's an open border
not
problem.
mutually exclusive. That's not a mutually exclusive problem. You can have someone who's homegrown,
but you know what they're
radicalized,
trying to do?
and
They're
you can
trying
also
to
have
conflate
terrorists
it. They're
who
trying
know
to
that we
make
have
it out to
the
be
southern border.
that it is a demonization
Both things
of
can happen at the same time.
undocumented people. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
That's why
it is
you
a
talked about it going
demonization.
to.
And we
but
haven't
these
even,
aren't undocumented people. These are Americans.
75% of the arrests in New York City are illegals. Let's stop playing games.
Move the goalposts. Move it as far as you want. Sugar
telling me.
Bowl wide. Whatever.
Whatever.
See,
Wow. That's
just to make sure that she does at least get to say something in
they talk
opposition.
all over her.
I know.
Understand what she's trying to say.
It's just the fact that there's this immigration population in New York City.
Yeah,
it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. New Orleans, Las Vegas, that's the subject matter.
I'd like to see Fox News turn into a fist fight live someday. That'd be so funny. I would watch it then. I would watch it just for that.
Like Jerry Springer? Just everybody
Well,
going crazy?
Janine Pirro.
Oh, yeah.
Would just be so much fun to see her. I mean, she's usually sloshed when she's on that show, right? I mean, she's as high as a
She
kite.
had a few, yeah.
So,
I haven't watched her in a long time. I don't know.
She seems like she'd be
fun at a party.
At a party, but she could enter the World Wrestling ring.
Oh, sure.
And do a pile driver,
Why not? Yeah, they let anybody in there now.
Linda McMahon.
Jeez. Yeah.
Let's
Department of Education.
I'd like to
Look
see
out.
them have a match.
Really?
But they're on the same side. So they wouldn't certainly try to injure each other.
Okay.
But this whole thing, that happened in New Orleans, it's so sad now that we're finding out more and more about the individuals that were killed. A lot of young men with dreams, and, they showed some of the kids playing with their favorite
I know it.
stuff at home. And boy, it just hits home. It really is just outrageous that something like this could occur in this country, but it's going to. And the barricades, they were thinking about putting barricades up for the Super Bowl.
Oh, sure. Well, Super Bowl and for the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, no, for the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Is it both? Or?
Yeah, actually, it is both. Yeah,
Okay.
they're going to have the Super Bowl there.
Yeah, so they definitely wanted the barriers up for that. And they should have done this a long time ago around that area because it's always crowded.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, coming up next, after we get some news and the Midwest Farm Report, we'll have Jimmy K with a Max Inc. preview.
John and Gordy in the morning. As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
You're in number 1 here, so feel free to reach across. Let me get some of my stuff out of the way here.
There we go.
All right.
Check.
Check. Hello. All right.
I need good music. Good music. It always feels so good to hear good music. I need good music.
Joe Jett.
Yeah.
You gave me the song.
I know, I forgot. But, I'm thinking, geez, Joan Jett has a little more edge than that. All right.
I saw her once up at in the Dells.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was she with the Runaways or just with
no,
the Blackhearts?
Just her own band.
Her own band, okay.
Yeah, she was really good, actually.
Yeah.
It's 7:35.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, no doubt. Time for our Maxing preview, and sitting in for Rökker today is Jimmy K. Jimmy, thank you for coming in.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Gordy.
Hey.
It's great to see you guys.
I love listening to you in the evening, especially, when I'm driving into work. I get to catch a repeat of the program, and I just love the music. It kills me. I just want to know all the songs. I want to know all the groups, and I want to know more about them. Oh, man, it's a good program. I love it.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's so surprising how much good music is here in Madison and around the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So many people, and Rökker said it, several times. It's world-class music that we play here from Wisconsin on the radio Saturday night. So.
Yeah.
And we finally had a place for that music, and that's right here at the station.
And we appreciate that.
Now, let's get a Rökker update here.
Yeah.
You've talked to him or been in touch with him a little bit. I think a lot of his listeners know, but maybe some of our listeners don't. There was an incident, a medical emergency.
He
that
had a
happened.
heart attack.
He had a heart attack.
Last Thursday.
Major heart
While he
attack.
was playing, while the band was playing at Gamma Ray. Right?
Yeah, at the Gamma Ray Bar here in Madison, Iron Plow was playing with Super Tanker. It was the Maxing holiday party, and I was not there, unfortunately, but the stories I hear that, he was drumming during the Iron Plow song. He collapsed. People jumped to action to help him out. The response time from Nico, Rocker's son, Kevin Wilmot, the owner of the Gamma Ray, all took immediate action. with CPR. There was another nurse that was in the crowd or came over from next door or something like that to pitch in with the CPR. And, you know, the paramedics, from what I hear, arrived super fast within 5 minutes and got him to the hospital. It's pretty scary.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
It's. I mean, any situation where there's a cardiac event is horrible. But when you're in a public place like that, you're kind of reliant on the public to know what they're doing.
Chaos
and stuff.
going on, and everything just worked out perfectly. And he's doing fine now. He had the surgery, stents, and a defibrillator installed. So
he's back home. He's resting. He posted a picture on Facebook yesterday with him and Dash, his little dog.
Yeah, I saw
that. Marky dog, and
right.
I'm sure Alice is keeping everything in order for Rocker and making sure he follows the doctor's orders. You know.
Well, we wish him all the best.
We really do.
I hope he gets well soon. And
it was quite the shock. I mean,
oh my gosh,
and the outpouring of support and love from the music community has been outstanding. I mean,
I can imagine.
I can only imagine how humbling that is for Rocker.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, and there might be some good stuff that comes out of this too, because there's talk from Kevin at the Gamma Ray. He's organizing with other venue owners and bar owners in that area, so everybody can have a defibrillator in their venue and get trained on CPR. So when an emergency like that comes up, you know, the right people can step in and do the right thing.
Absolutely, and I understand they're very simple to understand. You know, the public defibrillators that they have out there now, and you know, a lot of businesses do have them, but not enough, I think. So this is a good idea, a great idea, actually, taking off. Well, you know, tell us about how you and Rocker got together, started this whole thing.
Wow, that's quite the story. I mean, it goes back to, I believe, 2010, 2011. My buddy Eric and I, we were hosting an internet radio metal show on an internet radio station out of Kansas City. Last Crack was playing at Scats, a big reunion show in Middleton. So I chased Rocker down, and he ignored me like 3 times. Initial request for interviews, but he finally came over to my house. We got him on the air to talk about Last Crack and what he does with Maximum Music Magazine, and he loved it. He was like, I like completely hooked him into radio. And a couple of weeks later, he came to me. He's like, "Hey, I want to start an internet radio station. Let's do it."
Wow!
And Max Inc. Radio was born basically in my basement with Rocker and I, and we grew the internet radio station. We had a small but loyal listening base, and people were sending us music. They were excited that local music was being, you know, focused on and promoted. You know, because you know, local musicians, they look for anything to get their music and their name out there. So,
well, you know, that was in the earlier days of the internet, so there wasn't that much information out there for people to find you. How did you advertise? How did you get the message out there?
Mostly in Maximum Music Magazine. I mean, the two really went together.
Okay.
You know, Rocker did every month when Rocker put out the magazine in his Letter for the People column. He would always mention Max Inc. Radio, the happenings. We would try to, you know, book shows or tag on the shows presented by Max Inc. Radio just to get the word out there. And we were doing, at the time, basically the show that we do today came from the Jimmy K show as far as the format and what we do, live music and stuff. We did that live at the Wisco here in Madison for a number of years, too.
The Max Inc. magazine was really good.
I love the Max Inc. magazine.
Yes,
I miss it. I delivered the magazine for many years here in Madison. Rocker and I would go to Milwaukee together and deliver the magazine out in the Milwaukee area and the Bayview area.
And it would be up and around the Dells too. I'd see it all the time.
Yeah, can't forget that front page.
It was truly a statewide paper. As far as the cover, John, you know, bands loved it when they got on the cover of Maximum Music, and we made a big deal of it. You know, if somebody was on the cover before delivery, we'd sit in Rocker's garage and take a selfie with the magazine. You know, look who's on the cover of Maximum Inc. this year, and the artist would just get super excited, super appreciate it, and people, you know, it was just a way to drive people to get to the store to pick up their copy of Maximum Inc.
Right.
Well, it's a great story, but let's get to what's happening this weekend.
This weekend we got Max Inc. Radio Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. to midnight with yours truly, Jimmy K. Terry Barr. Rob Roberts is going to fill in for Rocker this week. We're not going to do Live in the Lair this week. In fact, Live in the Lair might be on hiatus until Rocker gets back because He's the sound guy. He's the one that makes it all sound good. This week's guest, though, we got a great show planned up. Michael Gnome, the creator of Joey Song, will join us in studio to tell us about the Freezy Man Music Festival. Joey Song fights epilepsy with music in memory of Joseph Gnome, who died in 2010, just shy of his 5th birthday, after suffering a debilitating form of epilepsy called Dravet syndrome. This is a multi-day music event called Freezy Man supports families by raising funds to support the critical research needed to find treatments and cures for epilepsy. Some of the artists that are coming to Madison to play at Freezy Man Music Festival are the Know-It-All Boyfriends. That's on January 8th at the Majestic.
What's that? Know-It-All Boyfriends?
The Know-It-All Boyfriends. We'll talk about them in just a second here. On January 9th at the Sylvie, it's Portugal, The Man, the Nielsen Trust, featuring Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick, Kenny Hoopla, and Letters to Cleo. On January 10th at the Sylvie, it's the Silversome Pickups, Vicky and Debbie Peterson from the Bangles, Eve Six, Belly, and Hodgins and White Wisconsin Cheese Capades, which is kind of interesting name.
Cheese Capades.
Right. And then all those artists are going to get together on January 11th at the Sylvie for the big show. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, all while raising money to support the critical epilepsy research needed to find treatment and cures. Now, the Know-It-All Boyfriends, they are a super group of legendary musicians like Wally Ingram and Pat McDonald from Timbuk 3.
Oh, wow.
Songwriter Freddie Johnston and Duke Erickson and Butch Vig from Garbage.
Yeah.
Let's hear a cut from the Know-It-All Boyfriends. This is their song, Ramp It Up.
We've got a plan, it's set in stone. The night is young and we're not going home. We'll get the party started, then it's up to you. No need to fight us, cause that's what we do. But don't be wasting our time, because we ain't got time to waste. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
What do you think of that cowbell in there?
I like it. I like it. So who's in this group again? Butch Vig.
Yeah, Butch Vig and Duke Erickson from Garbage.
Right.
Pat McDonald and Wally Ingram from Timbuk 3.
Yeah.
Freddie Johnson. There's a couple other big names that kind of come in. It's one of those super groups where they kind of interchange parts throughout wherever they are in the time and whatever.
Is Timbuk 3 still together?
I don't know that much about that band, so
Okay.
I really
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
You
Yeah.
can tell the production's
Yeah.
good.
Really good.
Butch
Yeah.
Vig, of course, you know.
Yeah, we got a
absolutely.
note here from Gordy's neighbors.
Oh, yeah? What do they have to say?
They
What's
said,
that?
we missed the Max Inc. obituaries.
Oh, the Rockstar Death Notices.
The
Yes.
Rockstar Death
Notices.
It says maybe bring that back to the John and Gordy show.
Because
Well,
we
could do-
really need to entertain more people with it.
Yes, the Rockstar Death Note. Okay.
But
We'll
yeah,
take
was
that into account. yeah.
Popular?
From what I understand, the Rockstar Death Notices was one of the most popular columns in Maximum Inc. I don't know why people loved the tabloid. Well, it's not even a tabloid. It was just the paying tribute to those that we've lost in the music community. So
Yeah.
but a lot of people loved reading that column. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right.
What else you got for us?
Another guest that's going to join us tomorrow here in studio is Rihanna Marie tomorrow night here on Max Inc. Radio. She is a songwriter originally from Lancaster, Wisconsin. She lived in Nashville for a while. She's back in Madison performing music now. Her new album, NASCAR, is dropping Friday, January 17th at Cargo Coffee East here in Madison with special guest 11-year-old superstar Paige Keebler. She was on the show not too long ago. And there's a podcast available right now at maxincradio.com. Let's check out Rihanna Marie's new single from her new album, NASCAR. This song is called Tortoise and the Hare.
They always say play the long game. It'll pay off in the long run. Slow and steady is my last name. Guess I'll marry somebody's son. Patience is a virtue.
love the harmony
Yes.
on that. That is really interesting.
Terrific voice.
Rihanna Marie. You can find her on Facebook and Spotify, and just search for her name, Rihanna Marie Music, and you can join her or listen to her tomorrow night.
Actually, it has
on
a kind of
Maxim Radio.
a Timbuk3 sound.
It does. Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Just by coincidence.
And Terry Barr will have some bar notes for us tomorrow night, and hope you all get to join us tomorrow night, 6 to midnight, here on the Civic Media Radio Network. Hey, I wanted to touch on a couple of charitable things that are happening here in Wisconsin. We got a little time here.
Got a couple of minutes here, and then we got some more on the other side of the break.
All right, so the Wisconsin area music industry, or the WAMMYs, are now open for nomination and registration. The WAMMY is a volunteer organization committed to the education and the acknowledgement of individuals within the Wisconsin music industry. You can get more information about the WAMMYs at wami.org. Also, the Mamas, the Madison Area Music Association, registration and nomination process is open right now for the 2025 season. The deadline is January 31st. Now, the Mamas is a nonprofit, volunteer-backed charitable organization committed to giving every child the gift of music by providing financial support and resources in youth music programs, raises awareness and the need to preserve the support of existing or keeping music education alive in schools, recognizing the achievements and the outstanding Madison area music students, the music educators, and the musicians, and providing this general support of the Madison music scene. You get more information, make a donation. That's just tax deductible at themamas.org. That's themamas.org. Another great charity you might want to check out is the Harmony for Healing. This is a fundraiser to help the United Way of Dane County's fundraiser supporting the families of the Abundant Life Christian School shooting that happened last month. There's 2 shows, both at the Red Rooster here in Madison. And the first show is Sunday, January 5th. It's featuring a bunch of artists. Also Sunday, January 12th. One of the bands that are playing is Frank Bush. And I hear some music. I think we're going to get that on the other side.
Yep, we'll find out more right after this on John and Gordy.
Let me tell you about my hometown, it's the capital of the state. I'll have to brag a little bit, but I really won't exaggerate. Big M-A-D-I-S-O-N, Madison, Madison, that's my hometown. Madison, Madison, that's my hometown.
92.7 WMDX, and this is Madison, our hometown.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy K is still with us here in for Rökker. With
What
the Max
song
Inc.
was
preview.
that bumper from?
Sam?
That was
John would know better than me. That was from...
That's a promotional disc made for WISM radio AM station that used to be in the area. Now it's WTDY. But yeah, they produced that song, a jingle for their radio station.
It's pretty fancy.
It's cool.
I loved it, actually.
I know. There are verses talking about the radio station following that, but yeah, that's kind of nice. Nice
Catchy
tribute
little-
to the city.
Catchy little song,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, Jimmy, what else is going on here? What do you got for us?
I just want to kind of recap the fundraiser for the Abundant Life Christian families. The school shooting that happened last week. There is a fundraiser. 2 shows happening at the Red Rooster. The first show is Sunday, January 5th. It's featuring a bunch of artists like Sortin the Mail, The Rumble, Hi-Fi Comments, and TJ Stone. The second show is Sunday, January 12th at the Red Rooster, featuring Between Two Lakes, Josh Becker, and Michael McCall, and of course Frank Bush, a legendary, awesome musician from the Madison area here. Let's check out a Frank Bush song right now. This is All My Life from Frank Bush.
My heart is like a broken bottle on the sidewalk Sunday morning. Too much fun the night before, but it ain't gonna break no more. I hear I got a reputation, but I've learned to turn that cheek. It's not hard to see the correlation. The less folks know, the more they speak. But all my life I've been searching for a sound that makes me feel the way I feel when you're around. We wander like a lazy.
Now, that's the kind of stuff I love listening to.
I figured you'd like that, John.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And Frank Bush, of course, he has a lot of great songs, and the country motif or genre is really good. You can get more information about Harmony for Healing by just searching the Facebook for Harmony for Healing, or go to the Red Rooster Facebook page or website to get more information about that, and they could definitely use your help.
I think Gordy turned it out because it had a banjo in it, is it?
Not a fan of the banjo usually, but
You're the
it's in the background. What?
You're the second person in the last week has told me they don't like a banjo. Why?
What happened?
I don't know. It's just it's never appealed to me.
Really?
Maybe it's ever since dueling banjos, and
Well,
Deliverance.
that'll do it to you.
You know,
Yeah,
that scarred me for life.
I
mean,
understand
when that
that.
came out. It's,
Like listening to a Billy Joel song.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right.
It's Winter Fest season here in Wisconsin, and the Majestic, they put on a couple of fests throughout the winter season. They have the Jazz Fest, they have a Metal Fest. They also have the Wisconsin Funk Fest, and that's at the Majestic Theater Saturday, January 11th. This year, the funky lineup includes Hot Like Mars, the Funky JBs with the awesome Joey B. Banks on drums, and this band, the Mama Dig Downs Brass Band. Here's their song, Palm Court Strut.
All right.
I love the big band sound of this.
Oh, I know. The drumming is unbelievably great.
Sounds like they're out on a basketball court.
Excellent.
That's good stuff.
So get out, support your local music scene, go see a show, and of course, check out Max Inc. Radio tomorrow night, Sunday night, 6 to midnight. Rocker is off, but we'll hold down the fort and we'll have some fun on a Saturday night.
And your show is great listening to your show. What time is that on?
6 to midnight. So we'll be live here in studio.
When you play all those songs together, right? I mean, you have like a radio program.
That's
6 to midnight.
Correct.
Okay. All right, man. It seems to be a little shorter when I listen to it.
Right. Well, I mean, we're going to be live in studio here until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So 6 to 9, the three of us, and then Rob has after hours from 9 to 9.
He does.
Right. And if people want to find out more about Max Inc. Radio,
you get all the information. You get all the podcasts. There's been so many great interviews in 2024. You just go to maxincradio.com, or you could go to civicmedia.us and click on the Max Inc. Radio page. Of course, get the app, get the Civic Media app on your phone. Take us anywhere.
Jimmy K, thanks for bringing in
quite a list of songs.
The update on Rökker. Glad to hear he's home. It's getting better.
I can't wait for him to be back.
Yep. And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
you
coming
guys.
in.
Thank you.
for coming in.
All right. And that's going to do it for us for this Friday and for this week. You'll have a great weekend. We'll be here bright and early Monday morning. John and Gordy.
Take care.
Right here. So long.